Yo, what is up guys? It's the Goblin and welcome back to another Call of Duty Black Ops 4 video. In this video, since SMGs and everything is pretty balanced, SMGs, there's some really good ones now, and if you like to play with them, you can do well. I thought I'd make a video of the top 5 SMG class setups, well, because there's 5 SMGs, and of course the one DLC one, the Demon 3XB, so it's kind of 6 best class setups, and where I basically take each of these guns, break them down, viable classes with them, and different things like that. If you guys could drop a like on this thing, I would very, very much appreciate that. Let's go for 1,500 likes. That'd be absolutely incredible. Smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and let's get right into it. So, MX9. Now, the thing with all these weapons is, sure, some of these SMGs are lower tier, some of them are higher tier. With these class setups, I've designed them, and I'm going to be showing you guys different viable options, because, for example, I like to run with, as far as gear, the ComSec device for the most part, just because I'm someone that plays off of big kill streaks. However, if you play more for gun on gun, then you'd want to go with Stim Shot. I want to give people those options. Another one people always ask me is Scavenger. Goblin, why don't you usually run Scavenger in your class ups? Because in previous CODs, I was big into Scavenger, because of course, if you're a good player, you're someone that wants to go on streaks to get kill streaks, which will of course get you more kills, allow you to go on bigger streaks and get, high kill gameplays and wins. Scavenger was a key. But in this game, I throw on the Crash Specialist, which allows me to drop the ammo packs, and that basically makes up for that. So I only run Scavenger if I'm running or if I plan to run a different specialist. So MX9, let's talk about it. This gun is a decent gun in this game, and this class setup I've designed around if you want a suppressed SMG that's decent for rushing but will still be able to do its job at those medium sight lines. And the cool thing about that is you have the suppressor and the hybrid mags, which hybrid mags you should put them on pretty much any gun where this attachment is available, on any gun, because hybrid mags is so damn good because you get reload faster and increased ammo capacity. But you see here I basically have long barrel, which is huge on this gun, and then suppressor, which hurts the range a little bit as long barrel helps the range. But this is, like I said, going to be more of a rush happy class up with a Stim Shot and a different specialist that could maybe help me with that, perhaps recon or other specialists which are good for rushing. But this is a cool MX9 class up, and like I said, you can take these ideas and customize them in any sort of way. There's a few things you'll see me using on pretty much every class setup, and those are the staples. For example, Gung Ho and Dead Silence. I think I have these two on pretty much every class setup. The rest of this stuff always switches around, and that's just because these are, out of all these perks, Gung Ho is just by far the best. It's such a good perk, it got banned in competitive. So literally competitive players have to all use Dexterity, which is like their second best option, because Gung Ho was that good. And then Dead Silence is great because, normally I would say Dead Silence, you don't really need it in Call of Duty games, especially if you're playing like a fast-paced domination or something. But the facts are, in this game where Acoustic Sensor exists and can track people, Dead Silence basically helps to pretty much counter that. So that's, or help be a big portion of a counter to that. So that's a major key. And we're just going to go through these SMGs in order and give you guys a class up for each of them as of right now, because we're into 2019 and the meta's sort of been stable for a while. GKS. Now, this GKS class setup is a little bit different. The GKS is still a really awesome SMG, but it has one of the worst time to kills out of the SMGs, and that's because this is sort of like the ICR and SMG form, where it's like you get double gripping, good attachments, and you're able to, have no recoil pretty much at a cool iron sight. However, you do struggle at close range. So my idea behind this class setup when I was designing it, and this is a good class setup where I have ComSec device on also, because you're going to be keeping at a distance, trying to stack big streaks probably with this one, or medium streaks at least. Double grips and long barrel will help me win those medium to long range gunfights, just where it's not based off of time to kill, but based off of time to kill and accuracy, where this gun will take over with accuracy, especially when you have that flinch reduction because of grip 2. You have the minimized recoil, which helps, but this gun already pretty much has no recoil. And then of course you have that reducing the flinch when aiming. My idea behind this secondary, and you guys can go with pretty much any secondary you want here. Maybe you'd want a pistol like the Mozu, but when people pull up on you close range, or if you're trying to take over a building or take over an objective, you might want to have more of a close range weapon, because the facts are any SMG will beat this one just based off time to kill. So I like to have, or as I skip and spoil the next class setup, the MOG 12 could be a good one to finish off. Or if you don't like the iron sights, you could just take away this, slap on a reflex sight, and just play this for more of a long range. It's totally up to you. Next is the Spitfire. Now, Spitfire is a gun that is good. This is one of the top SMGs, fully auto submachine gun with the fastest fire rate in class with high recoil. Its RPM, or rounds per minute, is around 1,000. If you throw on the operator mod, it goes up to like 1,500. And by the way, these class setups, I'm not going to be some of them I do have operator mods on, but the thing is, the majority of these ones really work best with, I mean, this one doesn't MX9 doesn't have an operator mod. The GKS quad shot, it's a decent burst weapon, but it's not as good as the Demon 3XB. The Spitfire, you could go all in. However, I prefer to use a more balanced setup with this, and that's extended mags and fast mags because you really need them both. Now, a gun that would, you know, not wildfire, but a hybrid mags would have been perfect on this gun. This gun reminds me of the Vesper, and I always wanted a grip on this gun, but if you look at the attachments, there's no damn grip. So extended mags, fast mags, I throw on a secondary here just because, honestly, I wouldn't go with the secondary probably. You could if you're worried about running out of ammo. However, you do have these fast reloads. So I would probably just slap on an ELO. I know some people, and it's kind of weird because this gun, it does look a lot better when you slap on like a diamond camo or something with this thing without the ELO. I really do like the look around that. And then you could just run a secondary. But like I said, you wouldn't need a close range secondary because this gun is good at close range. Stim shot, as far as you can go with any gear, is pretty much interchangeable. But when you're making a class up, you kind of want class it up synergy, and you can see the synergy behind why I had that shotgun on there, why I have the long barrel and the suppressor on this one, you know, different things like that, why I have Scavenger, because I'm going to take a different specialist when I use this class up. And the synergy with this one is around a rushing. This is probably one of the better rushing class setups in the game because you have one of the best time to kill guns up close, which is controllable at I wouldn't say medium range, but I will say close range, you know, like close to medium. And then you could stack this up with perks, flak jacket, tac mask, and then you can see gung ho, dead silent. So everything has changed around these class setups, but there's a few things that are remaining constant. And stim shot can be great for the fact that you can actually hip fire while maintaining control of your weapon, or not hip fire, but basically heal yourself while maintaining control of your weapon. So you can possibly get some shots off by that, but that's just a class setup there. Of course, you can customize it the way you want. Next is Cordite, and with the Cordite, this is a more unique gun because the operator mod on this gun is pretty fun to use, honestly, because it adds an extreme amount of ammo that is continuously fed to the weapon, and weapon may overheat from prolonged firing. However, if you don't spray this and you're calculated with your bullets and your shots, you pretty much don't have to worry about reloading, which isn't, I mean, it's a good bonus in Call of Duty. We've seen it in previous CODs. I think it was the R70 Ajax and stuff like that, but it's even better in this game because this is a game where you have to heal. It is not automatic like every other Call of Duty. You have to manually heal yourself in the multiplayer here, right? So because of this, there becomes a big dilemma or a big talk in the community, which is, should I heal, you know, whenever you're in a tight situation after a fight, or maybe you're caught out against multiple enemies, you're trying to escape a situation or hold off an objective. When you get weak, do you heal, or do you reload, or do you fight? There's so many different options. With this, it takes reloading straight off the table, and for someone that doesn't want to worry about that, this is a great class setup. It actually has grip, and while this weapon isn't as effective with raw, you know, rounds per minute and time to kill as the Spitfire, it has great attachments with it, with grip and long barrel. It's a lot more controllable at distance. And the thing with this one also is, I thought you could run Acoustic Sensor, which I'm not the biggest fan of anymore. I think that more people are running dead silence, more people are realizing how to counter this, and of course, once they nerfed it too, that was a big hurt to it. ComSec device is one that I like to go with, but my thought process around the Acoustic Sensor was, with this one, you might want to have your gun up while healing. With this one, if you're playing around, I would use this on a map where it's like close, maybe it's something like Arsenal, where you're like close quarters and playing around sort of angles of buildings, and where there is some longer range gunfights, but most of it, the fights are around those angles. And Acoustic Sensor is great for tracking enemies, not only with what it shows on the map, but if you actually use a headset, Acoustic Sensor is still double the value. It actually only says in the description, which is kind of false, or right here, enemy movements are easier to hear, which is part of it, but it also shows people on your minimap. And then of course, when I only have 3 attachments, the only thing that I really debate here is the first perk slot. All of these are good options. I would say Engineer, I don't know, Flak Jacket and Tac are my number 1 and 2 option, just because I hate dying to stuff. Like, there's already specialists, there's already stuff that's going to get you killed that it isn't like, you know, you're not losing a gunfight or anything. So I like to call this like an anti-BS class up when I stack up on stuff like this. But with this one, I get to pick one or the other. So depending on who, you know, the lobby you're in, the map you're playing, you can pick one or the other. And that's what you could do with this Cordite class setup. And then, Next one, which I believe to be the best SMG as of right now, the SOG 9mm, and this is a class that I've been rocking with it for a while, and I really like it. The ELO sight, I like the ELO sight on this gun. I find that it fits it nicely. It's weird because the Spitfire with ELO, it works, but it just doesn't feel as nice to me. It doesn't flow as nice into the aim down sights or into the movements with it. Fast mags, quick draw, and grip. This is your standard SMG, and this is the gun that makes it, you know, playing with an SMG in this game feel like playing with an SMG in other older Call of Duties, and that's what I really do like about this gun. I really do respect that about the SOG 9mm. This gun is really awesome, and this is probably my favorite SMG class up, and it has been for a while as I go to the ComSec, and I kind of get up close and personal with them. This is great for maps where you're playing close quarters as well, and you want a weapon with a like 900 RPM that is still decently controllable. And then, of course, the bonus 6 class up here, which is for the DLC weapon. This weapon is a burst weapon, and of course, it's pretty self-explanatory. ELO, because you kind of want to be accurate with this weapon, and I just love ELO sights on SMGs. Even on assault rifles, I'm mainly ELO on like all my ARs, I think now. Hybrid mags, because you guys know my description about hybrid mags. If it's there and it's not, you know, 90% of the time, you're going to want to take it just because of how good it is and what it provides to your gun, especially on a gun like this, which pretty much goes through ammo pretty quick because it's a fast firing burst weapon. And then my second one, I go with high caliber. And the reason why I go with high caliber is because you can't actually get a 1 burst kill with this. It doesn't increase that. However, a lot of the way that this game is played with EKIAs and, you know, assist counting for a lot of points to get in streaks and, you know, finishing off kills that enemy, you know, it's 5v5, it's more close quarters, more small maps and fast-paced action. High caliber with 1 burst to the head, you can actually do huge damage to them. I think it's like 75 or 80% of their health. It's a huge amount. So, of course, if an enemy hits at all, any bullets on a person, pretty much you could finish off those kills. And I found that it's just very nice for just doing damage, and damage is a stat that shows on the leaderboard, and it's something that's really important in this game, you know. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys could, like I said, these are just some recommended class ups, some things I like to go with different weapons. The main thing to pay attention to is operator mods, attachments, and how the setup mixes, you know, how the attachments mix with that gun. I think that's really the most important thing as of a class setup. In this game, perks are important, but it's pretty self-explanatory what perks people are going to be taking now, and they did buff some perks in the last update, but not enough. And I think until more perk buffs come, it's probably, you know, class ups are focused more around that. And same with gear. Gear and attachments and the weapon slots are very, very competitive categories, and still certain slots like the first slot on the perk one on perks are as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Anyway, drop a like on this if you guys could, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. That's about it, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.